Hi, welcome to my video series. Today I'm going to talk about measuring data quality. The easiest that I have done in my past is measure by 4C. There are 4 dimensions. The first one is currency, typically measured in time. That is either by seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, or years, right? So the time between the data recorded for the first time and the data by which it is available in your destination is the currency of your data quality. The second measure is the correctness. How correct is your data? This gets a little tricky. Correctness, you can define a reference against an external source. From the point where you picked it up and how you used it, is the fidelity of the data has been maintained. If so, then you're 100% correct. Right? Correctness is measured in percentage against an external reference. Let's move on to the third dimension to measure the data quality. Completeness. How complete is your data, both from the width viewpoint as well as from the depth viewpoint? So, do you have enough information to make the decision from a number of attributes you needed? At the same time, do you have enough of depth of information for you to arrive at the decision making? Typically, it is measured by fill rate. Say you needed 5 columns of information and 5 rows of information. That's 25 cells. Do you have information for all 25 cells? Then it is 100% complete. If the fill rate is 80%, then you have 80% information with you, right? So that's a way to measure completeness. The last one is consistency. This is very tricky. How do you measure consistency? Data consistency in specific. Consistency against is measured by taking a reference data point, say number of liters of water consumed per day, right? That's the data. Say 200 gallons of water is used by a house. Have we used the same 200 gallons consumption in every reference point where we made and talked about that particular data set? If you have, then you are 100% consistent, because across your products, portfolio, services, or conversations, you used exactly the same reference point and you were consistently using the same number, and that's how the consistency is measured again in terms of percentage of the times it matches to the same data point that you have referred in the past. So that's one way of looking at the measuring data quality in terms of 4 C's. In addition to these 4 C's, there are other measures that helps to increase the trust on the data. Once the trust is increased, then the usage continues to improve on the data. So how do you measure, how do we increase the trust on your data? One, make your data easy to access. Give it in table formats, chart format, or through APIs, application programming interface, right? So thereby, it's easy to access your data. It's more easy, then more usage happens, and more people use, more people comment on data, then the trust on the data increases over a period of time. Second, make sure the data is easily interpretable. It is legible, neatly tabulated. Say, for example, if it's for an economist, give it in a time series format. If it is for a data scientist, give it in a column format where you could consume the information easily into his application. So depending on the usage and user persona, we got to make sure the data that we provide is easily usable and interpretable. And also make sure the data that you provide is traceable back to the original source. Make all the references, the copyrights, and make it very clear how to use the data. And there are several ways to do that, right? Where you can go and say Creative Commons related usage liberty or the rights that you can give to the people, and open database access permissions, ODS, open data standards, right? So that's how you enable the data that you present is traceable back to the source. At the same time, you let the user know what user can do with the data that you're sharing. Finally, we got to make sure, this is more on the shoulders of the user of the data than the presenter. The user got to make sure the data that he's going to consume is relevant to his context to make the decisions associated with it. Publisher as well could provide some guidance, what's included, what's not included, how to use data, but necessarily having that relevance of the data as guidelines for the user will help, and at the same time user need to make the decision if this is the right data set that he wants to use. I hope this video has been helpful about data quality. I'll continue to produce more videos on the data subject. Look forward to hear your views on what I'm saying, and please do raise questions you may have or the comments. I will try my best to respond as soon as I can. Thank you.